up, Pass family? It's Tre
and Jay,
and we back
with another banger.
So everybody's going crazy on 2K19 right now, Jay. Everybody's going crazy. Everybody's talking about archetypes, badges, rep system. Now, I've seen so many panic builds right now, it's not even funny.
Man, it is getting out of hand, and it's to the point where people are literally like looking at the player creation screen for like an hour or 2 hours just trying to decide what they want to make.
And I think right now you gotta really be cautious of what you make now. Like really be cautious of what you make, because we can't really tell what can speed boost and what can't. Well, some of y'all can. We can't. We know what can. But a lot of you guys don't know what can speed boost and what can't speed boost.
And also I want to add that 2K penalized you this year, so you can have a lot of offensive badges, but you will not have defensive badges.
And you also have to be careful making a PG and a shooting guard, because if you make a PG and a shooting guard, they get great offensive badges, but they get no defensive badges.
And I also want to add that PGs cap off at 6'6" this year, not 6'7".
So if you do end up making a PG that's 6'6", I think some of the PGs can't speed boost at 6'6", right?
No.
Yeah, some of them can't, even if you make it the lowest weight and shortest arms. So you have to really be careful with this. With the way that the system is now, if you make a tall build, in order to speed boost, you gotta make little arms.
Now let's throw in a disclaimer. When we say little arms, we're not talking about T-Rex arms.
Yeah, not 2K16 arms.
2K19 really did balance out the arms, so you going the lowest wingspan, you can still block and you still can get rebounds. It's just that your arms are not all the way maxed out.
Yeah, you don't have like little tiny little arms. I mean, your arms are still, you know, they're pretty long. You know, they're not reaching your knees, but you know, they coming to about like you know, cowboy revolver gun length. No, I think it's a pretty good length. You have to realize that this system is a counter system. If you're a point guard and you create a speed boosting archetype, you can have neutral arms. Well, I think you have a little bit longer too, right? Like a little bit. If you drop the weight down a little bit more, you can have a little bit longer arms and still speed boost, right? Not just neutral.
How1
I think if he's like 6'1", 6'2".
Oh yeah.
You can make your arms a little bit longer. Like you can make longer arms being 6'2". But if you make a small forward, or if you make a shooting guard, if you try to make that build 6'7", 6'6", 6'5", you got to drop them arms.
You got to drop them arms.
So I feel like the system is countering itself. So if you make a shorter archetype, make longer arms and then speed boost. If you make a taller archetype, make shorter arms. So now it makes you question, which one do you actually rock with?
And also might want to add, not every build can speed boost like you could last year. Like a slashing shot creator cannot speed boost this year. Like we want to add that too, because a lot of people were asking us last night when we were on stream, can this build speed boost? Can this build speed boost? Can a sharpshooting shot maker speed boost? Can a slashing playmaker speed boost? Can this build? We don't know. But we can say that if you make him tall, you got to drop them arms. You got to drop them arms, and not every build can speed boost. So I'm pretty sure that 2K lean more towards you having playmaking in your build to speed boost as primary, because even secondary, a playmaking sharpshooter, which is sharpshooting first, playmaking second, cannot speed boost.
So when you're making your archetypes, try to make your archetype based off of what you really want. Don't make an archetype based off of just looking at the stats. You got to think about the counter system that you're making and also what your archetype is. If you are a rebounding athletic, there's no reason for you to have short arms.
It's really not.
It's not. So you can be the tallest length and have long arms. The whole point of a rebounding athletic is to be able to play good defense and dunk the ball. So there's no really point in having short arms. You're not going to really shoot mid-ranges. You're a rebounding athletic. But if you're a post-scoring shot creator, or if you are a shot-creating athletic, that's where the system gets a little bit tricky. Because if you make a post-scoring shot creator, you make little arms, you gain open mid-range, which means that your mid-range is going to increase. But you're going to lose that your long arms, which means you're going to lose lose those open shots. So you might not be able to hit a standing mid-range at a high rank at a high level anymore. But you will be able to shoot, you know, fadeaways a little bit better. But as a post-scoring shot creator, wouldn't you want it to be, don't you want both? Don't you want to be able to shoot mid-ranges and shoot fadeaways? Because if you make your arms longer, you're going to lose that standing shot. And, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have a what is it? What else do you lose?
Wait, if you go longer arms?
Yeah, if you go long arms. I keep forgetting.
If you go long arms, you make more contested you make more contested shots.
Right, and you play better defense.
You play better defense. You can get more blocks, more rebounds, but you can't really hit open shots.
No, your open shots
much,
drop like crazy,
and your ball control decreases.
Yep. So that means that you're easier to steal from. So I feel like
you lose when you make longer arms. You lose more on the offensive side, you lose more of like open shot percentage and like attributes there.
I think it's also going to drop your green release too. Like I think if your arms are long, I think it drops your green release as well. I feel like with the long arms, I feel like this year you are so penalized for having long arms, and then you're so penalized for having short arms in that neutral spot. I feel like with that neutral spot, you don't jump up and you don't go down, so your player is just like regular. And I feel like that for people that are making archetypes like a rim protecting rebounder, or a rim protecting athletic, or let's say athletic, a pure athletic. There's no reason for you to have short arms. So make your player with long arms. That's just off common sense. So if you are struggling to make a center right now, you can't figure out what to make. If you're making an pure athletic, a pure rim protector, a pure glass cleaner, a glass rim protector, a glass athletic, all of those archetypes should have long arms, max height. That's just smart, right?
Anything inside predominant.
Facts. That's just smart. If it's inside, you might as well have long arms.
If you don't plan on shooting mid-range or post or shooting any fadeaways, you might as well just make long wingspan.
But if you're trying to make a archetype like a post scorer or a post shot creator, an athletic shot creator, a stretch shot creator, a stretch athletic, you have to really think about what you want to do. If you make a stretch athletic short arms, he's going to struggle dunking, but he gets increased 3-point shots. Now, if you make a long arm player and you say, "Oh, I want long arms because I want to be able to dunk more and play better defense," but I want more contested shots. Are you really going to be that stupid to shoot contested shots?
That too.
That's also what you have to put into consideration when you're making these archetypes. Will you really be the dummy that needs long arms because you're going to shoot contested shots?
Because I also want to add, 2K19 really did change up the shooting mechanics in the shooting system this year from 18. So you're not just going to be able to keep pulling contested shots like you could last year. So
I just don't see that happening. Especially with all these archetypes having lateral quickness, steals, blocks, and then you see a lot of archetypes that, like center archetypes, that also have rim protector and defensive stopper at the same time. Putting those two badges together, that makes your player even higher on defense. It gives you even more defense. So you have to be cautious of that too. A lot of people have been asking, and the reason why, so I want to say we're making this video because we're trying to help everybody kind of like calm your brains down when making your archetypes. So it makes it a lot easier. I'm not going to be that person that tells you this is the best build, this is the best archetype. No, I'm going to tell you the pros and cons to making archetypes so that you can come to grips with yourself and say, hey, I feel like this is the better archetype for me to make.
Because either way, you have to pick your poison this year. If you're going to make a tall build, you have to have small arms. If you're going to make a short build, you have to have long arms. But also take into consideration, if you make a 6'3 guard, there's going to be people out there that are going to have builds taller than you, whether it be 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". You're not going to be able to guard them. They're going to blow right past you or just move you out the way. But if you make a tall guard, yeah, that shorter guard might have a little bit of speed edge on you, but you'll be able to play better defense because your body is so wide.
So if you're guarding against a pure shot creator, he's 6'7". No, he can't speed boost. He does have tier 2 dribbling, but he can't speed boost, right? But you have a 6'2 guard. So if he's 6'7" and he's a pure shot creator with long arms, you can't be upset just because you're playing good defense, but you're giving him lightly contested, and then he's sometimes making heavily contested leaners, but you're 6'2".
But he has long arms.
And he has long arms.
And if he maxes out his wingspan, his whole contested mid-range goes all the way up.
It shoots all the way it should be. Where the contested where it should be, but he loses mid. So, of course, we're praying it is balanced. So if you do make a pure shot creator and he has long arms, that means that when they pass him the ball for a three-pointer, I'm expecting him to miss standing still.
Yeah, if he's open.
Even mid-range. If they pass him the ball for a mid-range and he has long arms, he's losing that open mid-range. So instead of it being a 99, it's going to drop a little bit because he's going for more of the contested look instead of the more balanced look where he can shoot threes standing and shoot mid-ranges moving. If you are, I'm only going to speak on the center side of it. So if you're a center, make sure that you know what you want as a center and make sure you know your playing style. That's why I say be cautious of who you're running with. if you're running with a bunch of players going to tell you to ISO, I would tell you to make a player with long arms.
Yeah,
do not make a player with short arms. If you're going to be a cone, make a player with short arms. There's no point in having long arms. If you're a pure stretch, do not make a long arm pure stretch. You can't shoot. So the longer you make your arms, the less your three is.
Your open three will be.
Your open three is going to drop even more. It's already a 75. It's going to drop more with longer arms. So I would say make a short arm pure stretch to get that open three up so that you can hit consistently.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not trying to be a cone, you're trying to be effective on offense, I say go balanced arms.
Or just go like one or two notches
like
down.
2 notches down, depending on your archetype. Like if you're a pure post scorer, I say you can go 2 notches up, maybe 3 notches up. But if you're a pure post scorer, I wouldn't tell you to make completely long arms, because a pure post scorer, it depends on who you're playing with. I like to stretch the floor. I don't like just only catching the ball in the post and backing down and making moves, because eventually you're gonna get stopped by running into a glass cleaner, a rim protector, a glass athletic. All rebounding archetypes get high rim protector and defensive stopper. So your badges will be nullified. So I don't think that's a good idea to make him just long arms. They're gonna cancel your badges down. So your Hall of Fame badges drop down to silver. And that's gonna be a problem, especially with them fully guarding you with long arms. So I'm saying you need to make an archetype that can open the floor up a little bit. So think about that for a split second before you make that archetype. Don't make him, I wouldn't say make a pure post scorer with short arms completely, because then you lose some of your flow. No, actually you gain fadeaway.
Yeah, you gain fadeaway.
Yeah, you gain fadeaway.
You gain fadeaway if you go shorter arms, but you're gonna lose sometimes on the board.
Yeah, you're gonna lose on the board. But I mean, if you're boxing somebody completely, I mean, you should. If you're playing good defense and you boxing them out, you shouldn't have a hard time getting bored.
I mean, no, you shouldn't, but you know, we know how 2K also is too when it comes to pure glass cleaners, especially if a pure glass cleaner's in takeover. Even if you got that box out sealed, a pure glass cleaner in takeover, yeah, he's either swim moving you or somehow getting position over you and getting that rebound.
I feel like if you are an athletic, if you make an athletic first, I feel like you should already have long arms. It doesn't,
or at least 2 notches up.
Or 2 notches up. I feel like you should have long arms. If you're an athletic stretch, your secondary is already stretch. So I would just say go neutral. If you're an athletic rim protector, athletic glass, athletic shot creator, I'm gonna say go long arms, because the shot creating is gonna add on to your offense, your dunking and stuff. But if you make them arms short and you're an athletic, bro, some of those dunks are gonna get blocked a lot. They're gonna get blocked a lot. Mm-hmm. So just looking at the, because I've seen some people's gameplay that made centers with long arms, and I've seen the computer still locking them up on rookie and blocking them.
Yeah.
So it's not like just because you got long arms, you're gonna be able to dunk on everybody. But I'm just saying, be cautious and know what the pros and cons are when it comes to making short arms and long arms. Also, too, I really don't see any scoring archetypes being 290 pounds. Did you see how much you lose if you make your player 290 pounds?
290 is the new 340.
Fam.
So 290 is the max weight. So if you make your player 290, you are going to be a straight tank on the court.
You are a tank. You are a lot. I feel like if you're 290, you have to be an athletic. Because a pure glass cleaner at 290, it looks like you lose a lot. Like your speed drops to like a 40, I think, or a 35.
If you just mainly care, if you're a glass cleaner and you mainly care about setting screens and just getting rebounds and you don't really care about playing offense,
I'd say just make him 290.
Make him 290.
But if you care about moving and being a factor on the court,
yeah, if you care about being agile and not just getting carried,
I'm gonna tell you guys, do not make your centers 290.
You gonna have to go like 260, 250. Well, not even 260. You gonna have if you really want to be quick on the floor as a center, you gonna have to go like 240.
I was using DeMarcus Cousins. And DeMarcus Cousins runs out of stamina. And when you run out of stamina, you can't move. Like when you're blinking, you can't run. Like you're moving entirely too slow. And then like every single thing you do, it hits off the body of somebody, or you'll just lose the ball like out of nowhere. Like you try to do a hop jumper, and if you're blinking and you hop jumper, the ball's gone. So your stamina drops at 290. That's what I'm saying. I think you guys need to be cautious when making a 290. Some of y'all gonna be like, I'm gonna be 290, be crazy. I feel like unless there's like the Gatorade boost is like sufficiently like crazy this year, I feel like do not make him your center 290. And unless he's an athletic to give because the athletic gets a little bit more stamina and a little bit more speed than being, like a glass cleaner or a rim protector and stuff like that. You get more stamina and speed as an athletic. But if you're a pure post scoring shot creator or an athletic shot creator, a shot creating athletic, and I just feel like if you make him 290, you are going to be a slow tank on the floor.
I know this is a lot of information to take in all at once, but what we don't want you to do is get overwhelmed with all this information and pretty much spaz out even more than what you're already doing. We just want you guys to take more time when it comes to making your player and not be so focused on badges and stats, but mainly focus on your wingspan and your weight. Because badges are always going to be in the game. And we always know that badges should do what they're supposed to do. But this year, 2K really emphasized on wingspan and weight.
Yes. So
you touching your wingspan will determine how your player will perform, and your weight also. So we would suggest that you focus more on your wingspan and your weight rather as badges. Because it's like you can have all of these badges and still not be able to perform at the rate you want or at the rate your player should, because you either maxed out your wingspan or gave your wingspan little arms.
I will say this. I feel like this year the shot creating playmaker, let me reverse that, because it's playmaking first, shot creating second. So it's a shot creating playmaker.
Right.
Yes, it has all those badges, but it looks like a trap.
You were talking about that earlier.
The reason why I say that is because when you look at your archetype, it looks great. But you got to remember, in order to speed boost at a taller size, which shot creators should be taller,
right,
you have to have short arms, which means you're losing that leaning mid range because your arms are longer, so you can shoot over opponents. I've seen many shot creators in 18 making those mid ranges because their arms are longer, and every shot is lightly contested. Most of the time, it's lightly contested. When they shoot a leaning mid range, it's always lightly contested.
Especially normal 13s moving jumper, how you're just fully leaning to one side, and if you're a left-handed player, that's green almost every time.
Facts.
Because the ball's on this side and not on this side.
So in most of the time, again, it's lightly contested. Without having long arms and you're making them short, you're putting yourself low key at a disadvantage. Because if you are a 6'4", 6'5", and you make medium arms for a shot creating playmaker, again, he's supposed to have long arms to shoot those contested middies. If you don't have long arms, you can't expect yourself to be making contested middies all game. You got to really think about that. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's a trap. Yes, the stats look better than a sharp maker, but again, if you make a sharp maker with little arms, a sharp maker doesn't shoot moving shots. A sharp maker shoots standing shots. So if you make a sharp maker with little arms, his three-pointer and his mid-range increases more. While a shot maker, his decreases because he's now forced to take standing shots, and a shot maker is not a standing shooter.
That's not his job.
That's not his job.
And I also want to add, 2K is very slick because they gave them limitless range, catch and shoot, and corner specialist. But the catch is that if you go with little arms, you can only hit those shots open.
Right.
You can't hit moving. And even in limitless range, it's only bronze. So you're gonna have to take that hit. If you really want to shoot limitless range, you're gonna have small arms, because you going with long arms, you're not gonna hit those shots.
You're never gonna hit it, and that's where they're putting the trap at. If you make a player with long arms, your three-pointer drops. Your open three drops. So you're telling me you're going to shoot a leaning three-pointer? No.
Limitless range? No, you're not.
No. That's what I'm trying to say. There is a trap in this system. Now, you got to also think about this. Oh, thank you for the sub, though. I appreciate it.
Hey.
You got to think about this. With making a shot maker, if you're standing, you would have to take standing mid-ranges. Yes, now, your mid-range is going to increase, but you got to take them standing. Most of the time, you're gonna have the ball. So that means that you're gonna need 1,000 screens.
Yeah.
If you're playing twos, you're gonna need 1,000 screens to get open in mid range to take a standing shot. So if you're not taking a wide open leaner, you're gonna be in trouble. Your shot maker is in trouble because
Especially
you have
if you're
short
guarding,
arms.
If a taller build is guarding you too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so if a 6'7" is guarding you, or 6'6" is guarding you, or if a 6'8" or 6'9" is guarding you, like let's say it's a shot creating slasher, a 6'8", 6'9" is guarding you, and you try to take those leaners. He gets past the screens and you shoot it and it's contested.
You're in trouble.
You're in trouble. You're gonna miss a lot of those shots because your contested shot drops. Your open shot opens. But if you're taking contested shots, what shot makers are supposed to take, that's why you get difficult shots. Fam, you're in trouble.
You're in big trouble.
I'm saying you gotta really think about it. Like, you're gonna have to really baby your archetype if you're a shot maker this year.
If you make that build and you make long arms, you're going to have to run with a predominantly rebounder or some build that can set great screens.
That has Hall of Fame brick wall.
Because you cannot be a shot maker running with a stretch.
You can't.
Because stretches set the worst screens, and I'm pretty sure they are going to emphasize that this year. Because in 18, a pure stretch could get away with, a good screen here and there. But you got a taller build, defending you, and a stretch trying to set a screen, he's getting through that, and you're not going to get that shot off.
And if you make a pure stretch that's 290 pounds...
max wingspan.
He can set the screen, but he gonna be moving hella slow. So do not expect him to set a screen and pickpocket real fast. Don't expect that.
That pick and pop about to be a pick and slug.
And the only way he's gonna be able to set good screens as a pure stretch is if he's 290. At 240 or 250 or 260, them screens gonna be featherweight. I'm serious. That's the whole point of this system. It seems like they're trying to make you have the pros and cons. Also, we get this question too, and we're making this a long video so that you guys can get all the information that y'all need. Any slashing archetype, pure slasher, shot creating slasher, make them long arms.
Slashing first. If it's
slashing first or shot creating first, make them long arms.
No.
I'm saying slashers, shot creating slasher or slasher shot creator,
okay,
long arms, because the slasher dunks, the shot creator dunks. What's the point of having short arms? Think about it. There's no point.
If you're slashing first, you're predominantly going to be going to the paint.
Right. So just make them long arms. That's not even a question.
That's a no-brainer.
But if you are a shot creating sharpshooter, that is what I keep getting in my inbox. Is shot creating sharpshooter. Tre, what do I do about a 6'10" shot creating sharpshooter?
6'10"?
I kept getting that question. 6'10" shot creating sharpshooter or 6'8" shot creating sharpshooter.
I also want to add Zach. What's his name? Zach Timmerman. He also tweeted that height plays a big role in shooting.
Right.
So you going 6'10"?
It's gonna drop your shooting already.
It's gonna drop your shooting already.
But if you are making them 6'10", if you make them sharpshooting first, shot creating second, which is a shot creating sharpshooter, I would say either make him minimal arms or lowest arms, because he's sharpshooting first. Cater to his primary archetype.
Right.
But if you are a shot creating first, sharpshooter second, I say cater to that first archetype. Make those arms long so that you can cater, or make them neutral so you can cater to your first archetype. You're already going to be able to shoot threes. Of course, yes, if your arms are longer, you're going to lose some threes. But he's 6'8", 6'10". He has to be able to play some sort of defense. You make those arms little, I feel like he's going to be getting bullied by other 6'9s or 6'10s. So you might want to
let a center post you up.
So you got to really think about that. If you make a sharpshooting shot creator, the lower your arms go, the better you can shoot standing. But the worse you shoot contested. So really decide on what type of player you are. If you're going to be taking a bunch of leaners, make your arms long. If you're going to be taking a bunch of open shots and you know that you got a team that's smart, they're going to set you screens, off-ball screens, they're going to make sure that you get open, or you even know to get open yourself, then I would say make it with the lowest arms. Why be afraid of what you know that you're capable of doing?
I like how you put that.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I like how you did that.
So the next archetype we kept getting asked was playmaking slasher. Everybody kept asking us about playmaking slashers.
Okay.
If you make a playmaking slasher, I'm going to tell you make him neutral arms. He needs to be able to speed boost. You make his arms long, I don't think he can speed boost. So
I know if you max him out, he can.
So I say make him neutral arms.
Or
just keep him neutral, depending on your height. I just say make him neutral arms. If he's like 6'4" or something like that, I think 6'4", 6'5", he can speed boost still. So I would just say to make him neutral arms. If you can speed boost with that archetype, make him neutral arms. Because if you make him long arms, you're you're kind of like he already can't shoot. So if you make him long arms, your player's technically just an inside player. A playmaking slasher on 2K18 can shoot mid ranges. I don't think you want to take that hit in 19 and not be able to shoot middies, especially when you know people are going to be guarding you in the paint anyways. So you might want to make that archetype a little bit smarter so that you can make people have to guard you up and then cook them up and go past them.
I also want to add, if the 6'4" slashing playmaking slasher could speed boost last year, well, actually, both sides of that could speed boost. You're going to have to go shorter than that.
Right.
So you're not going to be able to, I don't think you can go 6'5" or 6'4".
I mean, I'm just saying, like, just saying, if whatever the
you're going to have to go
archetype
shorter
is,
than that.
The last archetype we're going to talk about is the last two, is lockdowns and lockdown sharps.
I was just about to say that.
If you are pure lockdown, why make your arms short? That's just dumb.
You have nothing else to do but to play defense, get rebounds, and set screens.
Make them long.
Make them long.
If you are a lock sharp, that is up to you. Do you value your defense more, or do you value your shooting more? You're already going to be able to play defense with a lock sharp. So I say go short arms.
I'd say go short arms.
That's what I'm saying. To really increase your 3-point shoot, or just go neutral arms.
But
Don't even go up or down. Just stay neutral.
You go short arms, you're gonna have to take. If you go short arms, and you're gonna have to take in consideration.
He's gonna have to be 6'8", 6'9" if you go short arms.
If you go short arms, there's gonna be moments where you're gonna get blown by, or you're gonna get somebody like that player's gonna get that edge on you because you have short arms. But if you leave them neutral, your shooting might not be as best as you want it to be, but you'll be able to perform on defense and do what you're supposed to do.
I agree with that.
Because the last thing you want to be is a lock sharp that's getting killed on defense, and that's what you're supposed to be doing.
So I say you gotta pick your poison this year. That's it. Just pick your poison and know what you're gonna do. So this video is all about the pros and cons of making archetypes. Long arms, shortest arms. It's just about showing you guys like how to make your archetypes and how to really come up with them. In our next video, we're gonna tell you guys our archetypes and what we made, and we'll see you guys next time. It's TreAndJ. Keep God first. Stay blessed.
Make sure y'all follow us on Twitter at JustinLHazzard.
TremellDHazzard.
And we're out of here.
See y'all next time, man.
Real niggas on my team, y'all. Fetty Wap left side, can't see y'all. Can't be y'all. Nigga, my whole squad ready to ride. Riding round, but ready to die. Y'all don't gotta decide whether or not you approve of this. You ain't gotta make room for this. I Bermuda shit, bring it down. Can you hear me now? You couldn't relate. I bet they all feel me now. The ruler.